everyone, Keza here today, bringing you Christmas 2020 and some holiday farming. Out with my tracker bard mage. It's kind of a usual build used for this holiday, using tracking skill to find the elves and stuff, and then of course magery for the EVs and bardic skills for either provo or discordance. This character has both provocation and the discordance enticement skill, so I can take down these elves pretty quickly. In addition, I'm also using fire fields and fire bombs and, you know, every trick in the book kind of thing. Makes it a lot more fun for me. Also, you use less EVs. If you use scrolls, you're not worried about fizzling, but I don't use EV scrolls. I just run around and fizzle a whole bunch. Could be more time efficient, but you know, I'm just out here doing this for fun. And you do get scroll drops occasionally if you're just out farming in the outer world. It's a little more likely to get scroll drops if you are farming in the dungeons, but they're also quite crowded this year, so just be aware of that. Just a quick note on the fire fields I'm using there. Each fire field tile will do 51 damage to a target, so if you get 2 targets provoed and you get them on a fire field, then you're doing a little over 100 damage with a 11 mana spell, so I'd say it's worth it. And then of course any fire bombs you want to use are about 40 to 50 damage each for whichever tile you're throwing them on, and they do stack. And they also stack with the fire field, so you can burn down targets pretty quickly. It's all up to you if you want to take that many, you know, extra items and use all those spells. A lot of people just take EV scrolls, EVs, energy vortexes, for anyone not used to the terminology. Using EVs is usually the most effective method for a provo mage, but of course it's difficult if you come across a bunch of mages who will dispel them all very quickly. Putting the mages in discordance actually does help with that. Their chance to dispel seems to go down quite a bit once they're in discordance, because it does lower their overall magery skill, so if you have provo and discordance, that will help you. If you can't do that and nothing else, there's no other elves around, you can always search for some other monster to provoke them onto, maybe a wisp or just, I don't know, even an Etten. If you're in the dungeons, then obviously you have more options. Here in Deathstard, things got pretty crazy. Using a Drake or whatever was around, I could provo and get that started. But yeah, the fights get pretty crazy when you're doing this build. And it's definitely the best and most flexible build to take out the mounted elves and a whole bunch of other targets. So I've definitely had a lot of fun with that, just blowing everything up. It's really fun to watch. But if I'm running around in the outer world just killing one elf at a time, something that's always worked well for me in past years and this year as well is going with my Aussie tank tracker. It's a very reliable build in the fact that your main weapons cannot be dispelled. But those main weapons also usually have to be slayers, which is what I'm using here. So a lot of people aren't going to be very comfortable taking their elf and dark elf slayers out into the wilderness, but the odds of running into PKs is pretty slim if you're just in the middle of nowhere like I am. And that's where you find some elves, is just out where other people have not been. So yeah, it works. I also use the addition of poisoned Chris's to start the fight and then just wear them down with the Slayer pretty quickly. And as you see, locating more elves in the outer world usually isn't a problem. It can be very difficult in the dungeons. If you can't find anything in the outer world, don't forget there's also T2A, which has a whole bunch of elves as well. You just have to figure out how to navigate it. Just the worst part of that area, just all the cliffs and everything, getting elves that spawn in trees stuck up on a cliff. Just, oh, terrible, terrible. But there are elves there. You can use the provo mage to teleport around and, you know, find a way to kill all the elves if you want to. You will definitely run into the least number of players out in T2A. I've found so many players while farming this year, probably over 50 separate players just that I've run into, and I don't even play that much. So probably over 100 people out this year looking for elves at different times of day. Even found a guy fighting by his house. He wasn't even farming. He's just like, oh, it's Keza, and just give him some fire horns. I was like, what? Oh, thanks, man. But yeah, I've just seen people everywhere, and if I want to socialize and not find elves, then I'll just go to the dungeons and probably find a player within a minute. You just see people all the time in dungeons. They're just so heavily used this year. It's pretty crazy. That's also a good thing though, because it means lots of active players. There was also a great Christmas player run event recently, the Secret Santa event hosted by Puck. I took a very small part in that, just helped with one gift, accepted one gift. Overall, he did a really good job with the whole Santa thing, put in a lot of work. There were over 80 gifts that he had to accept and then return to a different player, so I'm sure that was a lot of spreadsheeting and a lot to take care of. I know how difficult it can be to do a player run event like this, just all the organization and whatnot. But in a small community like the UL Renaissance one, every player counts and can make a real big impact here. It's something I think everyone should be aware of. Actually, I made a joke to a friend recently that I play an SMO game instead of an MMO. Small multiplayer online game. Anyhow, that is about it for this video. What you see me doing here is farming while testing out some new video viewing options. I understand there are many people out there looking on a phone or tablet at a lot of YouTube videos, and so moving forward I'm going to be changing some things about the video format and capture quality of my videos. But anyways, thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them. Until next time, hopefully I see you guys around in game. Later.